At the beginning of the story, we see a mysterious island. Suddenly, several army helicopters tear through the clouds and arrive over the island. As soon as they appear, chaos begins. The soldiers start dropping bombs from the helicopters, and the explosives crash deep into the jungle below. Terrified animals begin running in every direction, but even that cannot save them from the destruction. The soldiers continue bombing the entire island without thinking twice. Just as they start celebrating their attack, something unexpected happens. A massive tree suddenly comes flying toward them. It slams into one of the helicopters, destroying it instantly and killing the soldiers inside. At the same time, other soldiers are attacked by something unknown. As they stare into the face of death, they notice a gigantic eye watching them. It turns out to be the island's guardian, King Kong. Kong grabs a helicopter in his giant hand. Furious, he opens his massive mouth and swallows a soldier alive. The soldiers are completely terrified. Their eyes widen in shock because they have never seen such a gigantic creature before. But instead of retreating, the soldiers surround Kang on Major Black's command. They fire non-stop, unloading their weapons at him. However, the bullets barely hurt him. Kang raises his hands, blocking the bullets. His anger only grows stronger. With a powerful roar, Kang punches a helicopter, smashing it to the ground instantly. He then tries to grab another one, but the spinning rotor blades slice into his hand. In pain, Kong pulls his hand back while the helicopter loses control and begins spinning wildly. Despite the pilot's desperate attempts, the helicopter crashes into the jungle. Kang roars loudly and looks toward the wreckage on the ground. Soldiers try to rescue their injured teammates, but Kong crushes them with a single step. One helicopter manages to escape, but Kong immediately chases after it. Major Black orders the remaining helicopters to attack Kang, but before they can react, Kang leaps into the air. Major Black's helicopter collides with another helicopter flying in front of it. Kong crashes onto the ground, sending a massive cloud of dust into the air. Major Black's helicopter is badly damaged and spirals down to the ground. Kong continues destroying everything in his path. Helicopters in his hands look like toys made of paper. He tears them apart effortlessly. Major Black watches in anger and disbelief. He cannot believe what he is seeing. But the truth is, this entire disaster is actually his fault. Sometime earlier, Major Black had ordered a team of scientists to search for Skull Island, a mysterious place hidden for millions of years. According to researchers, Skull Island was hidden inside a massive storm system. Without wasting time, Major Black and his team flew directly toward the storm in dozens of helicopters. As they got closer, the storm grew stronger and more dangerous. When the helicopters entered the storm, darkness surrounded them. The helicopters began losing control, and all their instruments stopped working. Still, Major Black calmly ordered the pilots to keep moving forward. Finally, the helicopters burst through the clouds, and suddenly the sky becomes clear. One by one, the helicopters emerge from the storm and discover a mysterious island. This is the secret island that governments had been searching for. Thousands of years, huge mountains stretch across the land. The scenery looks incredibly beautiful. Helicopters fly between small islands, and everyone is amazed by the breathtaking view. Everything changes when one pilot drops a few bombs. Explosions shake the entire island, and the sleeping giant King Kong awakens. After Kong's brutal attack destroys the helicopters, he suddenly disappears into the jungle. The helicopters crashing in different locations, the soldiers become divided into 3 separate groups. Major Black gathers the remaining soldiers and swears that he will avenge his fallen men. Meanwhile, another group that survived the crash continues walking across the island with the scientists. Suddenly, the surface of the water begins to move. A massive water buffalo slowly rises from the lake. It breathes heavily and slowly approaches the group. Everyone freezes in fear. But instead of attacking them, the giant creature simply watches them for a moment before turning away and walking back into the water. The group continues moving forward. Soon they enter a dense jungle where strange yellow drawings are painted on giant stone walls. Carefully and quietly, they begin exploring deeper into the mysterious island. The group kept moving forward. Captain Marvel was busy taking photos of everything around her. Suddenly, while looking through her camera, she saw a human face appear in the frame. She screamed in fear. A moment later, a group of people stepped out from their hiding place. Their skin color blended perfectly with the stone walls around them, which is why no one had noticed them before. The tribal warriors surrounded the team with spears in their hands. Loki's team was shocked. For a moment, they were too stunned to even fire their weapons. Soon, a few tribal leaders arrived and stood between both sides. Just as the tension was rising, an old man with a long beard appeared. He spoke calmly in Hindi and asked everyone to lower their weapons. The team was surprised, They couldn't believe that he could speak Hindi. The old man explained that he and a Japanese pilot had crashed on Skull Island 28 years ago during a helicopter accident. Since then, they had been living among the tribe. He then guided them toward the tribal village. Near the village stood a huge bridge built over the water, blocking the entrance. Everyone assumed that this barrier had been built to protect the village from King Kong. The old man introduced them to the tribal chief. After hearing their story, the chief allowed them to stay on the island for a few days. Later, the old man took Loki's team to a sacred place of the tribe. There were rows of massive stone pillars standing in a line. Carvings on the pillars told ancient stories. From these carvings, the team learned that King Kong was actually the protector of the island. For many years, he had defended the land from terrifying monsters. The tribal people worship Kong as a god. He lives alone and silently guards the mysterious island. But Kang also carries a dangerous responsibility. Deep beneath the island live deadly creatures known as skull crawlers, giant reptile-like monsters. Kong keeps watch over them to prevent them from destroying the island. However, the recent human bombing had awakened these creatures. Soon, they would become a serious threat to everyone on the island. Meanwhile, Loki and his team needed to reunite with their missing soldiers. So the old man guided them toward the wreckage of their helicopter. Captain Marvel, however, was still focused on photography. She heard a strange noise outside the village walls. Curious, she crossed the tall barrier that had been built to keep the monsters out. There she saw a massive water buffalo trapped under a crashed helicopter. The poor animal was struggling in pain. Feeling sorry for it, she tried to move the helicopter to free the buffalo. But the wreckage was far too heavy. Suddenly, the helicopter lifted off the ground. Captain Marvel looked up in shock. The buffalo stood up easily now. The helicopter that she couldn't even move slightly was now being held in the massive hand of King Kong. Kong stood there like a giant, mountain just as he turned to leave. Another terrifying incident happened nearby. A soldier was drinking water when suddenly his eyes widened in fear. Something long and sharp shot straight through him. It wasn't a bamboo stick as it first appeared. It was actually the leg of a giant spider disguised as bamboo. The monstrous spider attacked the soldiers. Chaos erupted as the team tried to fight it off. After a fierce battle, Major Black finally ordered everyone to open fire. The spider was eventually defeated, but the island was far from safe. Meanwhile, another soldier who had gotten separated was washing his face in a river. Suddenly, King Kong appeared behind him. The soldier froze in terror, but Kong showed no interest in harming him. Instead, Kong slowly sat in the water and examined the injury on his arm from the earlier battle. After drinking some water, Kong suddenly noticed something moving. He quickly grabbed a large pink octopus from the water. The creature tried to fight back, wrapping its tentacles around him. But Kong easily overpowered it and made it his meal. The hidden soldier watched the entire scene in disbelief. Later, the soldier continued through the jungle trying to contact Major Black, but his walkie-talkie battery had died. When he sat down on what looked like a dry log, it suddenly began moving. The log turned out to be a giant insect disguised as wood. The soldier panicked and fired his weapon. After several shots, the creature retreated back into the forest. Meanwhile, Major Black and his soldiers continued their search. They crossed a swamp and soon discovered a huge bloody handprint on a rock wall. It was clearly left by King Kong. Major Black knew they were on the right path. Soon they reunited with the scientists who had been separated earlier. But the bearded man warned them about something far worse living on the island, the giant skull crawlers. He explained that these monsters had once killed Kong's parents. Their leader was even bigger than Kong himself. Despite the warning, Major Black refused to turn back. He was determined to hunt and kill King as they entered a fog-filled valley. They suddenly heard terrifying sounds echoing all around them. Out of the mist, a massive skull crawler appeared. The monster began attacking the group. Chaos erupted as soldiers fired their weapons while trying to escape. Eventually, the battle became even more intense. Explosions, fire, and gunfire filled the valley. But the true danger had only just begun. Later, Major Black set a trap using explosives and fire. When the bombs exploded, King Kong appeared once again, furious that humans had destroyed his home. Kong walked toward them through the flames. Major Black ignited the lake with fire, trapping Kong in a ring of burning fuel. Everyone believed Kong had been defeated, but suddenly, with a powerful roar, Kong emerged from the flames and continued fighting. Soon, another massive skullcrawler appeared, even larger than the others. An enormous battle between Kang and the monster began. Kong was badly injured, but he refused to give up. Using everything around him as weapons, he fought the creature with incredible strength.